Hey there, Foxy gamers! Welcome back to Stardew Valley. We did have an unfortunate day yesterday, but there was an overwhelming support on the poll on my channel of people who wanted to see me restart the day. So thank you so much for everyone for both participating in the poll as well as for commenting on my previous video to let me know why you thought I should or should not restart the day. But as the majority ruled of about 70%, we have now started over our day. That means this episode is either going to be a little bit longer than normal, or else it's going to have a little bit more time-lapsing than normal. Because I'm going to try to keep 3 days in this, or I'm going to try to put 3 days in this episode, so that way we can keep on track with our 2 days per episode overall. But let's see here, we only had our one green bean to water, and if I recall correctly, we basically spent the entire day down at the mines, so that's what we're gonna do again today. So one might be able to argue that maybe I shouldn't carry so many things on me that I'm not willing to lose like I did yesterday, such as all of these salads and all of this wood, but honestly, I don't want to deal with getting stuff half in boxes and half not, so I think I'm just gonna do the same thing that I did yesterday, except just not fail this time. Because I really like having the wood in our inventory when we come up to the mines to use the furnaces. It makes things very quick, and I'd really like to not have to change that. It was pointed out to me that we do not, in fact, have to keep the squid ink really for anything, because it's only used for seafoam pudding. And I'm not really gonna care about that too much on a min-max run, I don't think. Basically, the only reason I would really need that seafoam pudding is if I'm trying to catch legendary fish. And I haven't exactly stored up any of the other mats for it, so I'm not gonna worry too much about it. So this time I'm gonna pay much better attention on my hit points and talk less, pay attention more. It was a mistake that could have been easily avoided. It's not like it's not like there was one of those boss slimes or anything like that that can basically one-shot you. I was just basically neglecting to pay attention to my health. So let's not do that again, shall we? Basically, no matter how well the day goes, as long as we don't die, it's going to be more successful than our last attempt. Because even if we don't find a diamond this time, which we probably won't, we aren't going to have lost all of that money from those salads that we bought. I really don't know how some of these people managed to go down to the skull caverns so quickly without having a high skill in combat or things like that. Like, how do they not die in the skull caverns if their combat level isn't very high? I guess I haven't watched these people doing that, but I feel like if they're in the skull caverns by like the 16th of spring, year 1 or whatever, it's like, oh, you guys cannot have a very high combat amount. So like, do they even have good gear? How many hit points do they have? That just seems crazy to me. But I'm really bad at getting through the mines without dying, especially the skull caverns. At this point, I don't really see us needing a lot more gold anytime soon, because right now we're basically only going to be using those to make sprinklers, and should we make more sprinklers, we're going to need more of other stuff too. So I think I'm going to want to focus on getting a lot of copper and a lot of iron, because we need the copper to make tappers, and we're going to need, I believe, both copper and iron to make kegs. Well guys, that was a much more successful day than we had yesterday, and we got a third dwarf scroll, so now we're just missing dwarf scroll number 1. Hopefully we'll find that in the next couple days, especially if we're going to be farming on the lower levels. It does seem like that is more likely for them to show up there. But we've got a pretty hefty amount of bars here now. Could maybe use a little bit more refined quartz, but pretty much at this point we're only going to be using them for quality sprinklers for the remainder of spring, and then we'd use some for the lightning poles once we get high enough level foraging, but that's going to be a minute before we do that. Alright, let's see what we can take back to our farm here. I guess we are going to sell the squid ink like I mentioned before. It doesn't seem like it's going to be useful to us in this run through to hang on to it. So, and the earth crystal is used for making mayonnaise machines, which I don't know yet at this point if we're going to do the mayonnaise machines. I suppose we probably ought to in order to complete our greenhouse. So I am going to bring that back with us, put it in our other chest. I think we might have one or two already, and we probably won't need more than that. And so if that's the case, I'll go ahead and sell it. Okay. I think the rest of these guys can just sit tight for now. We might just go ahead and sell the rice shoot as well. And I'll eat the carrot, and there you go. I'm just realizing that we should probably be getting ourselves another backpack upgrade again soon. So far it hasn't been too bad, but as soon as I go to the Skull Caverns, we will definitely be wanting a backpack upgrade because we can't do the up and down the elevator shaft like we do in the regular mines. So we'll go ahead and drop all that stuff off here. I did not mean to bring that copper ore back with me, but that's okay. Let's see how many earth crystals we have. Alright, we'll hang on to another one. Might as well. And yeah, probably place some tappers tomorrow. I could do it right now. It is only 1 AM. I feel like I should take advantage of having an hour left, but by the time I wander somewhere and chop something down like we're gonna do, then it's gonna be time to go to bed, so I don't know that this was worth it, but I guess you might as well take advantage of every minute you got. And then watch me not make it back to our house in time. That would be classic. Okay. We showed that one tree who's boss, and now it's time to go to sleep. Well, oh, there we go. Let's see. Combat. I always take fighter. I never really use daggers. Also I mean, not that you have to use daggers to use scout, but I feel like weapons having 10% more damage is just a more reliable choice. Feel free to give me your opinion if you think I'm wrong on that and why, because I would be curious to know your reasoning for going the critical strike route. Alright, what is our weather going to be like tomorrow? Clear and sunny. Okay, we are done with rainy days for the season, I suppose. Alright, we've got some preserves jars ready to go. Let's see if we can make a few more of those, but before we do that, I want to make sure that we have enough stuff to go around for our tappers. So we've got 3, 4, 5 oak trees out here. That may have just about used up all of our wood. This might be a little overkill with all these tappers that I'm putting out here, but better to have overkill than come up short, because we can always put those tappers on a maple or a pine tree and get the other stuff that we want. Let's see, was that enough? Yes. Okay, we can go ahead and make a packet of seeds and sell that business. And we'll... Oh, I did put strawberries in the preserves jars, guys. Why am I such a dummy sometimes? Boo. Okay. Well, that blows. I mean, it's not a huge loss, but definitely don't make my mistake in that sense. Save your strawberries for the kegs because it's just a much better amount of money that you're gonna get for selling them that way. Okay, so I don't think... Do we have enough left for one preserve jar? Yes, we do. Running short on wood already. So what should we put in here? We want to do the cauliflower. I don't know if I should turn that into Jody or not. What do you guys think? Should I use the cauliflower for her quest and get some friendship points? Technically, I think I would make more money from pickling it, but it's like, oh, do I want to be friends with Jody or not? I don't know. So I guess we're gonna start pickling our kale. Yeah. And it doesn't really matter, like, all of these are gonna pickle into the same value, whether they're regular, silver, or gold. The only reason that sometimes I'll actually choose, like, the gold ones first because the stack is smaller, so my inventory space will clear up a little sooner sometimes. So I am gonna go ahead and do that. We'll pickle 5 kales. 5 kales? 5 bundles of kale? I don't know how you... Yeah, probably... Kale is not singular, so... Alright. Yeah, pretty much as far as the day goes today, I think we're just gonna go back to the mines, because there really isn't much for us to do at this point. Unless we want to go fishing. Now, I don't really know about that. We didn't really get a whole lot of money in the mines yesterday, so fishing might actually be a good idea in order to get enough money for our seeds. That is a good question, but we are going to take our hoe and some copper bar. Oh man, I'm glad I didn't use up all of our copper because we almost didn't have enough for this hoe upgrade. So at the very least, we'll go drop this off with Clint, and we're definitely going to want to buy some more wood from Robin. And I'm a dummy. He's not open till 9 AM, so we're going to have to come back. Alright, we are still running very low on copper, and we're going to be even 5 lower once we turn in our copper hoe. So definitely going to be farming some copper today. Yeah, so at this point, I don't really know what's going to be better to mine tomorrow or fish tomorrow. If it was summertime, I would definitely say fishing because the ocean fishing is pretty lucrative when it's sunny outside, but in the spring it's hard to justify fishing if it's not raining. And I know there's not going to be any time between this and the 28th for you guys to tell me what you think I should do, so I'm going to have to decide that for myself in the next approximately 20 minutes. I guess my conclusion of what I should do is probably going to be dependent on how today goes. Obviously, if I'm farming copper and iron, I'm not as likely to find things that are going to have a high return on selling in our box, but I'll definitely do a bit of work down in the lower levels to see what we can get. So while I do know what the best levels are to go to for getting copper, iron, and gold, I'm not actually sure the best levels to go to in the rest of the mines if your goal is to find gems and stuff like that that you can sell and earn the most money. So if you guys have any tips on that, some insight that I might not know about, please let me know. Obviously, again, you won't be able to affect this episode, but definitely any future episodes if I decide to go back down to the mines to farm for gems and stuff, that maybe you can help me out with that. I mostly decided to go to level 80 today just because it's a pretty fast way to check and see what's going to be on the first floor and then potentially anything that's on the second floor. But, you know, if like going to level 110 or 115 is a lot better in your chances of finding goodies, then, you know, it might be worth it for me to do that. So right now our funds aren't really feeling so hot to me. It is the 27th and we have 2,600 gold. That's not really going to be buying us too much stuff, especially if we do want to upgrade our pickaxe while we're planting our crops. So I'm not really sure what to expect from this. I guess that's part of the fun of trying to do a live min-max run, is that none of us know what the outcome is going to be until you're watching these videos in the past. I feel like if there's an emergency, if we really just have a crappy couple of days here, that I can sell the kale and parsnips that I have in my chest if I absolutely must. Like, that is our backup plan. If we need some emergency funds, we can just sell those, which maybe means I shouldn't be pickling the gold level quality, should I? But anyway, I don't think we'll have to resort to that too much. We might have to sell a few things when summer rolls around, but we shall see. Well, at the end of the day, I decided to start trying to go down to level 110 and see how things were going, and at first I was like, oh yeah, wow, this really does seem a lot better, but then the rest of the time it kinda wasn't, so I think maybe it's just sort of hit or miss. I'm sure there's like a slightly higher percentage chance of things like diamonds to spawn for every level deeper that you go. But the question is, like, is it worth just a tiny increase in a chance of, like, diamonds and that sort of thing to drop? I don't really know. But I did almost come close to dying again, so maybe I really ought to stay at level 80, because nothing is going to be worth anything if I just keep dying. Okay, a pretty decent haul today. The other thing I've noticed is that while we are getting some rubies, we're not selling them right now because I'm trying to save them up for trading them in at the desert for the lucky eel plate, but that's about 2,500 gold right there, which, you know, we've got some stuff just sort of sitting around, and I'm not sure if we're gonna want to sell that stuff for seeds or not. But let's see here. Tomorrow I'm going to, I think, go stop at the guild. And we'll turn those in, because it's like not a huge amount of money, but it's something. And it's just sitting there doing nothing, so we might as well. I realize how weirdly I just said tomorrow. Tomorrow! Okay. Drop all that stuff off. And I didn't leave my ore in the mines like I tend to like to do, but that's okay. It's not really hurting anything. Alright, we'll take down this pine tree here. Also, I realize we haven't gone into our cave. Ooh, that's something. I bet going into our cave would help with our foraging, wouldn't it? I was gonna say that I haven't done that because it's not like the mushrooms where you have to do it or else they won't replenish. Like, it'll just keep showing up there until your cave is full, which takes a very, very long time. But we might actually get some foraging skill from doing that, so maybe it would behoove me to do such a thing. Alright, so we got a decent amount from the strawberry jelly. I am rather sad that I didn't save those strawberries to turn into strawberry wine instead, but that will give us a nice little boost at least. Pretty good haul from the mines. If it wasn't for those diamonds, it wouldn't have been nearly as good of a day, so I hope that you guys find some diamonds on your days in the mines as well. Okay, last day of prepping before summer. I don't know why I'm even bothering to check the weather, because it's never raining on day 1 of summer. Also, the weather doesn't matter. I'm gonna do stuff regardless. Okay, so there are a few things about today. I could potentially go to Pierre's and buy some parsnip seeds. And why would I do that, you ask? Well, because as someone pointed out, and as I have mentioned in previous guides, if you plant parsnips before the season turns over, then you won't have to till the land where your crops were at. You'll just take a scythe and you'll remove that stuff with a scythe. So, I don't know if we have enough money to really do that, though, is the thing. Oh, speaking of using a scythe, we get to do satisfying stuff with our kale. So excited. I love hacking away at kale. Whee! It's so fun! Oh man, and then if I had the golden scythe, it'd be even more fun. That's what I want to do someday, guys. I'm gonna get the golden scythe, and then my entire farm plot is just gonna be all kale or whatever equivalent thing there is, and we're not even gonna put sprinklers. We're gonna water it all by hand, just so that it's that much more satisfying and there's nothing in our way. Alright, we do have a good amount of crops there. So now the question is, do I want to buy and plant the seeds? While it is true that it's going to take up more energy for me tomorrow to do... Oh, gosh, you guys, I don't know. Let's see here. For the better sprinklers, yeah, alright, we're not even close to getting the iridium sprinklers yet, nor do we have iridium anyway, so that wouldn't even matter. I think I'm gonna skip getting the parsnips, because to fill all of these spots, it would cost us 3,200 gold. And what is that saving us? Well, it's saving us some energy so that we don't have to hoe and water the ground as much. Oh, I guess it's both hoeing and watering that we would have to do. But 3,200 gold is equivalent to 14.5 salads. And I don't believe it's going to take us that many salads. Yes, it's going to take us some time. But again, it's like not 100% of those are going to need to be re-hoed. But the problem, I guess, is that even though our hoe is going to be upgraded, we're not going to be able to utilize the upgrade if we just have like some random spots here and there that need to be hoed. Well, I don't know. Once again, this may be the wrong decision, but I just have to own it. I guess the other thing, though, is will we have time to plant all the things we want? I think we will, because I don't think we're going to go crazy overboard with buying melons right off the bat. I definitely want to try to get some starfruit for the second plot of the summer. Obviously, we're not going to be able to grow starfruit twice because we don't have the desert open up yet. But hopefully we'll get that before too long. Right now, with the money we have on hand, plus whatever we're gonna sell from the mines today, we should be able to buy about 100 melons. I suppose an important question, though, would be, would we rather save that money that we'd be spending on melons and instead put it towards getting the desert opened up? We're obviously not getting starfruit by the 1st of summer, so we're only going to have one harvest of starfruit this year. But I have to make sure that I have enough money to get a whole bunch of starfruit by, I believe it would be the 15th, because starfruit takes 13 days to grow, something like that. And the melon could be ready by then, but we certainly won't have the melon harvested and turned into melon wine. So the money that we earn between now and when we open up the desert is basically going to have to be from the mines, from fishing, and from pickling our other crops. As soon as our oak resin is ready to go, we'll be able to make some kegs, but I was a wee bit late with getting the ball rolling on that, thinking that it was going to take longer for me to get the level of farming necessary. So that might be a little while. Plus the wine takes like 7 days to form, so I don't know. I have so much gold on me right now. I definitely don't need to farm any more gold. It's really hard to not try and hit those gold veins whenever I see them. But it's probably better to ignore them unless you have an upgraded pickaxe or unless you're really desperate for gold, because I keep hitting them and they take 4 hits before I can actually pop them. And since I don't need gold, it's really kind of a waste of both my time and my energy. But it's so hard. I see a shiny thing and I want to get it, you know? Well, I accidentally clicked the wrong floor on one of my last trips down. And as it turns out, there was a diamond on that floor, so that was exciting. I almost clicked away from the floor before picking that up, so that would have really sucked. But I got it. And now, here we go. Let's find out how we did today. We actually got quite a few gems. I'm pretty excited about that, and after going over to the guild to sell all that gear we had just lying in our chest, we have a decent amount now. We obviously have enough for at least 100 melons. I haven't decided yet whether or not I'm going to sell, or whether I'm not going to try and upgrade our pickaxe tomorrow, or if we should wait till we get a little more money. I'm gonna sit on that between this episode and next, and depending on how I'm feeling about the run and what you guys have to say about it, we'll see how many melons I'm going to buy. But I realize that we probably don't need to be sitting on 13 rubies right now. Yes, I am going to use them for the spicy eel once we get to the desert, but from my experience, I always have way more rubies than I actually need once I start going to the desert. So I think I'm only going to hang on to 6 of them for now, and we're going to sell the rest and give ourselves just a little boost for tomorrow. And let's make sure we bring back everything that we want to sell, as well as we want all these bars in case we decide to make some more sprinklers tomorrow. We've got enough stuff for that. Okay, we're obviously planting our mixed seeds. I guess I'm just gonna throw the rice shoots in our sell box because there's not really a reason for me to hang on to those right now. I'm gonna save the fire quartz for turning into the refined quartz, so that way we can use just the regular quartz for buying bombs in the desert, which we have about 9 bombs here that we'll be able to buy, which is pretty nice because it's actually going to be better for us to use 5 quartz rather than paying 600 gold for the bomb. Or we could also make them, I suppose, with iron and coal, but in my experience, I am just constantly running short on coal, so I try to avoid that until I have a plethora of coal, which is not something I've ever managed in this type of min-max run-through where I'm trying to make tons and tons of kegs and preserves jars. But I think that is all we need to bring back with us today. I'll bring our bug meat just in case we decide to go fishing one of these days instead of going to the mines. I feel that now summer is coming along and the ocean fish are going to be a lot more, like, worth a lot more money, that we might only visit the mines at this point when we need a specific ore or something like that. Okay, let me make sure. I don't think I have, yeah, we don't have any of those to combine anymore. So there we go. We've got rice shoots that we can sell. Oh shoot, I can't drop off the Tundra boots in the box. That would have been nice to sell today, but that's probably only like 50 or 100 anyway, so we're not missing out terribly on that. The rest of this stuff, I think I'm going to hang on to. Was there anything in here? The unmilled rice. Yeah, I know it doesn't sell for much, but also I don't feel like bothering to do anything with that. Oh, dang it, there's another magnet ring we could have sold. Shoot, I was not paying attention to that. But okay, we'll go ahead and drop all this stuff off in here. And see how we do. I feel like that's going to be a pretty good haul, especially with all those diamonds that we got today. So let's find out. Alright, level 9 farming. Fantastic. Ah, there we go. We have the iridium sprinkler, but we don't have iridium yet, so that doesn't really matter too much. Level 9 mining. Wow, I didn't realize my mining was that high already. That's really painful to get to that high of mining with just a copper pickaxe. That's so sad. Oh, boy, but look at that. Well, I mean, I guess we sold a bunch of rubies that we'd been stockpiling, so that ended up being worth more than those 2 diamonds. So that's good. Alright, we've got a pretty good haul. Oh, those actually sold for a lot more than I was expecting, so that's also good. Fantastic. I feel like we're in a pretty good spot for starting the summer. Anyway, yeah, if you think that I should buy a pickaxe upgrade instead of spending that money on additional melon seeds, or if you think I should only buy a certain amount of melon seeds and use that money elsewhere, please let me know in the comments below, and I will take into account your opinion before recording the next episode. Once again, guys, thank you so much, everyone, for participating in the poll and giving me your opinion on what you thought I should do with that horrible failure of a day in the mines last episode. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone, and until next time, stay foxy.